President Biden, on the day that the last U.S. soldiers were evacuated from Afghanistan, called it an extraordinary success. To me, that is the lie of the 21st century. It's untrue, it's dishonest, and if President Biden believes it, he is delusional. Never again will we be able to say that America never leaves Americans behind, because Joe Biden did just that. And today in the Foreign Relations Committee, Secretary of State Blinken said there are still over 100 Americans trapped behind enemy lines in Afghanistan. The United States is less safe now than we were over the last 20 years, and Afghanistan is now a haven for terrorists. Our enemies are emboldened, our friends are furious, and President Biden wants to wash his hands of this entire thing and get it behind him, in spite of how many people have been left behind to be captured, tortured, and killed. President Biden has blood on his hands, and no matter how hard he tries, he cannot remove the stain of this from his hands or from his reputation. For the last 20 years, we've had soldiers serving and suffering and sacrificing. And today the Taliban has a better set of weapons. They're the best militarily equipped terrorist group in the history of the world. Where do the weapons come from? Well, there are tanks and our MRAPs and our helicopters and our planes and 600 American guns, 600,000 American guns. On just about everything that President Biden said, he's been wrong. He said very little chance and likelihood that the Taliban would take over Afghanistan. He said you'd never see a situation again like we saw in Vietnam with helicopters on the roof of the embassy, but that's exactly what we did see. He said under no circumstances would we, and he said this on national TV, would we let people stay behind, would we leave Americans behind even if we had to keep the troops on the ground longer. This is worse than Benghazi. It's worse than the Iranian hostage crisis. It is worse than Vietnam. It's heartbreaking. The Washington Post had a comment, an editorial, said it was a moral disaster. I think it was a moral disgrace. Of the 13 service members that were killed, one of them, Riley McCollum, was from Wyoming. His wife is pregnant with a child that he would never meet. I stood on the tarmac in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, with Riley's family, with his pregnant wife on Friday as his flag-draped casket was brought home for his last trip home to Wyoming. And yesterday, his wife delivered a little baby girl. Now, the American people, through a GoFundMe page, have raised over $1 million for Riley's wife and baby daughter, who will never get a chance to meet him. And today I have a lot more faith in the American people than I certainly do in this disgraced and incompetent president.